I wanted to just talk about the Kizomba scene for a bit. But before doing that, yeah, I was dancing Kizomba this past weekend. I went to two different events. We've learned like there was an instructor that was teaching us like the blocking in Urban Kiz. It was really great. And then the social was good. I've danced a bit. I find myself leading more than usual. Well, usually I lead anyway. Not anyway. Yeah, I was leading, and it was a very fun night. The DJ was DJing. It was really great and everything. So, and then afterward, we went to another event that was Zukompa. Kompa is a Haitian dance, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is. Overall, it was okay. I just found it odd that, the ladies were all dressed up really nice. However, the guys just kind of stood there with drinks and beers in their hand, rarely asking ladies to dance, which I'm like, come on, you did not like get dressed up and everything, drove for how many ever time to come here just to kind of stare at people and not ask them to dance. But sometimes I think maybe they're afraid of rejection, or they're afraid that they're not good enough, or not good enough, but they're afraid of like maybe not good enough of a dancer. um or maybe they just simply want to go there and chill, not necessarily dance. I just find it odd to go to these events that are like dancing events and you don't dance. But yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the whole Kizomba environment, in my opinion. So this opinion may not apply to everyone. Not everyone may think the same way, but I find that the Kizomba environment can benefit from being a little bit more inclusive. The reason I say this is I believe that the Kizomba environment, especially in Urban Kiz, there's a lot of colorism, sizeism, and ageism. And the reason I say this is because I find that darker skinned women tend to get asked to dance less. Again, maybe you don't agree with this, and that's totally fine. This is just my observation. But I find that in an environment where there's mostly follows than leads, I also find that a lot of us followers of all different backgrounds, all different races, most of our back is against the wall. And when it is against the wall, the men get a bit more pickier in terms of who they want to dance with. And I usually find that young white women tend to get picked more to dance than, let's say, a bigger woman or a dark skinned woman or an older woman. That's why I say that there's those three factors of ageism, colorism, and sizeism. In a way, I don't know if sizeism is a word, but yeah, that's what I wanted to share. It's not necessarily well, it's not a good thing, because then it's not very inclusive and not everyone is enjoying it. I feel like when it comes to especially in Urban Kiz, like Tarosho, Tarashina, Urban Kiz world, like usually it's like black men, and it doesn't matter what age they are mostly, and they're usually the first pick is usually that of non-black women. But again, it's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong, or your observation. Well, I don't think I'm wrong, but your observation could be totally different. But again, there's also ageism. I find that I observe that older women get asked to dance less, and I observe that bigger women or fuller women get asked to dance less as well. It's usually skinny Caucasian or of other race with like a tank top and tights or blue jeans. That's usually the go-to pick for most of the Urban Kids guys. And some never really dance. And I'm just gonna say this: I find that black guys. This is just my observation. Not all of them. I want to make that clear. Not all of them. I find that, but a good amount of them, they tend to ask other. you know, as I mentioned, Caucasian, skinny, tank top girl to dance more than anyone else. There could be a line of women, like of all races, including black women, with our backs against the wall. There's a high chance that the skinny white girl is going to get asked to dance first. Whether she knows how to dance or not doesn't matter. And she could suck at dancing and it's still she gets first, whatever. But anyway, my point is that I think that the Kizomba, the Urban Kiz world, can benefit from um, like being more inclusive. And I wouldn't say that it's the host job to do this, but I think there is definitely a responsibility between the male leads and the host, the people that host these events. I know some have these whole taxi dancers, but I also feel like the taxi dancers just maybe ask, like, dance once or twice. Anyway, I have very like I've been dancing kizomba for a while and I've observed a lot of things and I have very um, opinionated opinions about the whole world, but at the same time I kind of feel for the guys because there's way more follows than leads, and they have, and sometimes when they're dancing, just when they're done, another girl grabs them before someone else grabs them. So I'm sure some of them are really tired, but there are certain groups of those male leads that are very peculiar in terms of who they want to dance with. And sometimes they would dance with certain types of people only, or certain types of people for hours and hours. And I think that the whole Kizomba environment should be more, like I mentioned, inclusive, but there should also be like an etiquette. Like if you're hosting an event where there's obviously way more follows than leads, then I think sometimes the responsibility should go for the leads to be more aware and be like, okay, I'm only gonna dance this song 3 times, or I'm gonna dance 3 times with this follow and choose someone else, not dance a whole hour or an hour and a half, like what, while people are still waiting to dance. But anyway, my thoughts are everywhere because I have a lot of opinions, so this is just like a general view. um but yeah, I've started to learn to lead, and I find that the more that I'm leading, the less that I get asked to dance by other leads, which then I'm like, okay, and now I'm rarely dancing with males. And also when you're leading as a woman, I'm also observant in terms of like not all women like to be led by other women. So if I ask a lady to dance and she says sure, I could sometimes feel if like she's a bit uncomfortable, whether it's just me or with just other women or whatever. And I always try to be more spatially aware. But yeah, so that's also another thing I want to talk about. Not everyone is comfortable dancing with the same sex. So that is something that people should keep in mind. Just because you lead as well as a woman doesn't mean that other women like dancing with other women. But as a woman lead, I sense that I'm getting asked to dance a little bit less as well. I love Kizomba. I love the culture. I love the music. I love just the dance of it all. But I struggle so much with the environment, especially in Urban Kiz. And I'm a big Tarasho, Tarashina Urban Kiz girl, as well as Semba. But I struggle in terms of like, yeah, like enjoying it as much as I should, and I complain a lot about it. That's why I avoid going to big events like these 5 days, 7 day festival events. Like a couple of times I spent nearly $1,000 on these events and I danced maybe 5 times, and my friends were like, you should go and ask guys to dance and enjoy it a bit more. I do that, Yes, but I end up getting a pity dance. A pity dance is a dance where a guy doesn't really want to dance with you, but he feel forced to dance with you or sad to dance with you because you asked. So they dance one song or max two song, and you could even feel the energy of their dance is a little low, not like they dance with other people. And then yeah, so I feel like a whole pity dance thing, which I don't like, and I've asked other guys to dance before and some of them rejected or said no. And then the minute someone of a different race, skinny, you know what I was gonna say, ask them to dance, they're all happy and decides to dance with them. I've had experiences like that, so it makes me feel a little like uncomfortable and like a love-hate relationship with Kizomba. And I was telling my sister and even my cousin about this, and my sister was like, "Why do you spend money to go to these events when you know how they're gonna turn out?" So that's why this year I've only went to local events. I haven't gone to like other cities or wherever else because I am tired of getting that experience. But yeah, I really hope that the Kizomba world could do a little bit better, especially in Urban Kiz. Do better. Like this whole starter pack of Kizomba 101, especially Urban Kiz, of it being a black guy and some skinny white girl. Not that I'm against them, I'm not against them, but that's usually, or anything like, you pay to go to these socials, you pay to go to these festivals, you have the right to dance with whoever the f you want to dance with, as long as they say yes, you could do that. You're not forced to go ahead and dance with someone else that you don't want to dance. But I'm just making an observation from a grander scale, from a high level scale perspective, and say about my observations. But I love Kizomba, I love it, but at the same time I hate it. Like I struggle with it. Yeah, I don't. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share. There's so much other things I want to talk about when it comes to Kizomba, but I think I'm just going to keep it there for today. But Kizomba, folks, and I don't know if it's like the same thing in salsa, bachata. I dance salsa and bachata, but not enough to make these observations. So I'm not too sure, but I'm maybe it is there as well. But this whole colorism, ageism, sizeism, we gotta minimize that. Like we have to like lower that and stop that and make it a bit more inclusive so everyone gets to enjoy. I know there's usually way more followers than leads, but at the same time, like if we're all aware that this is an event that we all, or socials that we all go to have fun and be aware of, like, the balance between the two, between the follows and the leads, then it would be more enjoyable for everyone, instead of like dancing with someone for 4 5 even 10 songs or a whole hour and stuff. Like, come on, there's like backs against the walls. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share for today's video vlogging. As I mentioned earlier, I'm new to this whole video vlogging. It's something I've wanted to do for many years, and I am trying to get outside of my comfort zone, see my face a bit more, hear my voice a bit more, and put myself out there a little bit more, so so I could be more comfortable with people seeing me. And it's part of me also increasing my confident level and comfort level, and just putting myself a little bit more out there. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share today, and thank you for watching. Thank you. Bye.